Welcome to my channel Bookish English 2, my friend. Have you ever learned a word and forgot it the next day? You're not the problem. The method is. Today, I'll show you how to make words stay forever. No more forgetting. No more stress. Just simple, powerful steps that work. Chapter 1. The day I forgot every word. I remember that day clearly. I had studied 20 English words the night before. I sat on my bed, repeating them again and again. I wrote them down. I read them out loud. I even tried to make small sentences with them. I felt proud. I thought, tomorrow, I will remember all of them. I am learning fast. I can do this. I went to sleep with a smile on my face. But when I woke up the next morning, everything was gone. My mind felt empty. The words had disappeared. I tried to remember just one. Nothing came. I stared at my notebook. I read the first word. It looked strange. I knew I had seen it before, but it felt like the first time. My heart sank. I closed my eyes. I tried hard to remember. I whispered the words. I looked around the room and tried to connect the words with things I could see. But nothing helped. I felt like crying. Why can't I remember? I asked myself, is something wrong with me? I felt stupid. I felt small. I felt like all my hard work was useless. I wanted to give up. Maybe English is not for me, I thought. Maybe my brain is not good enough. That day, I didn't study. I didn't open my notebook again. I sat in silence and felt sad. I thought I had failed. But that feeling, that pain, it changed something inside me. Later that evening, I talked to my friend. He was also learning English. I told him what happened. I told him I studied so hard, but I forgot everything. He smiled gently. He said, "That happens to me too. It happens to many people. You are not alone." I looked at him. I was surprised. I thought I was the only one. I thought I was the problem. But he said, "No, it's not you. It's normal. We just need a better way to remember." That gave me a little hope. Maybe I was not broken. Maybe my brain was okay. Maybe I just needed to learn differently. That night, I did not feel like a failure. I still felt sad, but I also felt curious. I wanted to know why I forgot those words. I wanted to understand how memory works. I wanted to find a way to remember better. I opened my notebook again. I looked at the words, slowly this time. I said each word softly, without pressure. I looked at each word and tried to feel something. I asked, where did I hear this word? When did I use it? What picture comes to my mind? It was hard, but something small started to change. The next day, I decided to try again. But this time, not with 20 words. Just with 5. Only 5 words. I wrote them. I drew pictures next to them. I said them out loud. I used them in my own sentences. I told myself, even if I forget again, I will not stop. I will learn one way or another. I made a promise to myself. I will not give up just because it is hard. Because forgetting is not the end. It is the beginning of learning. Many people feel the same way. They study hard, but the words disappear. They think they are slow. They think their memory is weak. They think they are not smart enough. But the truth is, they are just missing the right method. You don't need to memorize more. You need to memorize smarter. You don't need a perfect memory. You need emotion, connection, and practice. I didn't know that on the day I forgot every word. But that painful day became the start of something new. So if you have ever forgotten a word, don't be sad. Don't feel small. You are not the only one. I was there too. But I didn't stop. And because I didn't stop, I now speak, remember, and use English with more confidence. Your journey is just starting. And this video will show you everything I learned, step by step. Just like that first step I took, right after I forgot everything. Chapter 2. The problem was not my brain. After that hard day, I started to think deeply. I asked myself, why do I forget? I looked at other people who spoke English well. I thought maybe their brains were smarter than mine. Maybe I was just not made for languages. Maybe something inside me was broken. That thought made me feel weak. I remembered school days when the teacher spoke English, and I sat there, silent. My classmates answered. I stayed quiet. I felt slow. But then, something changed. I read a sentence in a book. It said, "It's not your memory. It's your method." That one sentence made me stop. I read it again, and I felt something inside me begin to wake up. I thought about my old way of learning. I just looked at words. I read them again and again, hoping they would stay in my head. I made long lists. I tried to repeat them like a robot. But I didn't feel anything. No meaning. No emotion. No story. Just words on paper. I realized something very important. My brain was not the problem. My method was the problem. I was using the wrong way to remember. And when you use the wrong way, of course it feels hard. Of course you feel like you're failing. But it's not your fault. I remembered how I learned words in my own language. As a child, I didn't sit down with a book. I didn't make lists. I heard the words in real life. I saw the things. I felt the emotions. I touched, smelled, tasted, laughed, cried. That's how words became part of me. I learned by living. But with English, I was just reading cold words from a page. That was the big mistake. My brain needed feeling. My brain needed action. My brain needed a story. I told my friend what I discovered. He smiled. He said, "Exactly. That's what I learned too. The brain remembers when it feels something." That made me feel less alone. I realized we are not bad learners. We are not lazy. We just didn't know how the brain works. Most schools teach the wrong way. They give you lists and rules. But the brain does not like lists. It loves connection. It loves color, sound, movement, and meaning. I also learned something else. There are many types of memory. Some people remember what they see. Others remember what they hear. Some need to move to learn. Some need to speak to remember. Everyone is different. And that's okay. There is no one best way. There is only the best way for you. And your job is to find it. I had to find mine. I had to test and try and fail, again and again, until I found what worked. So I made a small plan. I said, this week, I will try something new. I will not use long lists. I will not repeat like a robot. I will try to feel the word. I started small. One word a day. I connected it to something I liked. I tried to use it in a fun way. And guess what? I remembered it. Not just for one day, but for many days. That gave me power. That gave me proof that my brain was good. I just had to change how I used it. If you are watching this and you feel like your memory is bad, please don't believe that lie. Your brain is not broken. You don't need to be a genius to remember words. You just need the right door. And I will help you find that door. Step by step. Just like I did. You are not behind. You are not too slow. You are learning. And learning is never a straight road. There are turns and bumps. But you are moving. And that means everything. So now, when I learn a new word, I don't just look at it. I ask, how does it make me feel? Where can I use it? Can I hear it, say it, write it, and feel it? That is how I train my brain now. And it works. It works not because my brain is special. It works because the method is right. The problem was never my brain. And it's not yours either. Believe that. Trust it. And keep going. Chapter 3. One word, one emotion. I still remember the first English word that stayed in my memory forever. It was the word cold. I didn't just read it. I felt it. That day, I was walking outside. The wind was strong. My hands were shaking. My nose was red. I said the word quietly, cold, and it made perfect sense. My body felt the word. My heart knew it. From that moment, I never forgot it. That was the day I discovered something powerful. When you connect one word with one strong emotion, it becomes part of you. Before this, I was learning words with no feeling, just looking at the letters, just trying to memorize. But those words didn't stay in my heart. They only lived on paper. When I found a way to feel a word, it became real. It became mine. That is the secret many learners miss. You are not a machine. You are a human. Your memory works best when your heart is involved. When you feel something, love, fear, surprise, joy, your brain remembers better. I started practicing this idea every day. I picked one word, only one. I asked myself, what emotion fits this word? If the word was happy, I thought about a moment that made me smile. Maybe it was when I saw my little sister laugh, or when I ate my favorite food. I let that feeling live inside me. Then I said the word slowly. Happy. My heart said it too. It was not just a sound. It was a memory. That's why it stayed. You can do this too. Try it now. Think of a word. Let's say angry. Don't just repeat it. Think of a time when you were angry. Maybe someone was unfair to you. Maybe you waited too long. Feel it again, just a little. Then say the word, angry. Your heart knows this word now. You don't need to memorize it like before, because the emotion will bring it back. That is the power of one word, one emotion. This method changed everything for me. It made learning fun. It made each word personal. I wasn't learning for a test. I was learning for life. I made a small diary. Every page had one word, and next to it, one short story or feeling. It became my word diary. I loved reading it. I would open it every night, and the words felt alive. They were not just letters. They were parts of my life. Some words are hard to feel, like unless or although. These are not easy to connect to emotion. But I found a way. I made small stories. I use people I love. Unless my mom calls me, I won't go. I imagined waiting for her call. I imagined how I would feel. And again, the emotion helped the word stay. Even grammar can have feelings if you bring your life into it. One word, one emotion. This is a slow method, but it is deep, it is honest, and it works. You don't need to learn 50 words a day. That will only make you forget faster. You need to feel 1 or 2 words each day. Let them enter your heart. Let them become part of your story. Then you will never lose them. I remember the word hope. It came to me when I was sad. I had failed a speaking test. I wanted to quit. But I heard a song. One line in the song said, "Hold on to hope." That line stayed in my soul. I wrote the word hope on my wall. I saw it every day. It gave me strength. That word is still with me today. Not because I studied it, but because I lived it. If you do this, your words will never feel empty again. They will have meaning. They will have heart. One word, one emotion. That is the way I build my English. And you can too. Don't just learn with your eyes. Learn with your feelings. It will change the way you remember. It will change the way you speak. It will change the way you learn forever. Chapter 4. Picture the word like a movie. After I learned how emotion helps memory, I discovered something even more powerful. Pictures. Not real photos, but pictures in my mind. I call them mind movies. When I think of a word, I don't just read it. I close my eyes. I create a small movie in my head. I see people, colors, places, actions. I make the word come alive. And when a word is alive in your mind, you cannot forget it. This changed everything for me. Let me tell you how I learned the word run. I did not read it 10 times. I did not write it in a notebook again and again. I sat quietly. I closed my eyes. I imagined myself in a big green park. I saw the sun. I saw children laughing. I saw myself moving fast, my shoes hitting the ground. I felt my heart beat. I felt my breath. I imagined myself running. That was my movie. And the word run became part of that movie. From that day, I never forgot it. You can do the same. It does not matter if your English is low. You don't need to understand every detail. You just need to feel and see. Try it now. Take the word apple. Close your eyes. Can you see it? Is it red or green? Is it on a tree or in your hand? Are you eating it? Is it sweet? Is it cold from the fridge? What do you feel when you eat it? That little movie will help you remember apple forever. Much better than writing apple equals 20 times. This works with almost any word. If you want to learn sleep, picture yourself in bed. Feel your blanket. Hear the soft sound of rain outside. Let your eyes close in your mind. Feel the peace. Feel the rest. Say the word sleep while you see the picture. That is how your brain connects the word to your life. And that connection becomes memory. I also used this method with feelings. The word excited was hard for me. So I pictured myself opening a gift. I saw the box. I felt my hands shaking. I smiled. My heart jumped. I said, I'm so excited. That picture helped me understand the word. Not just understand it. Remember it. Feel it. Use it. That is the goal. Sometimes, I drew the pictures too. I'm not a good artist, but that didn't matter. Drawing helped me think deeper. One day, I learned the word rain. I drew clouds. I drew drops falling. I drew myself with an umbrella. That silly picture made me laugh. But the word stayed in my memory. Because I gave it a shape. A life. The brain is like a cinema. It loves images. It loves action. Words with no picture are easy to forget. Words with pictures, they stay forever. That's why children's books work so well. They mix pictures and words. And that helps the brain learn naturally. As adults, we forget to do this. But we must go back. Back to imagination. Back to seeing the word, not just reading it. When I watch a movie in English, I learn so much. Why? Because the words come with pictures. I see the action. I feel the moment. I hear the word and see its meaning at the same time. That's why movies are powerful. That's why your own mind movie is just as important. Even 1 minute of imagining can help you remember one word forever. Now, every time I learn a new word, I ask myself, what can I see? What color is it? Where is it? Who is there? What is happening? I close my eyes and build a world. And the word becomes real. Not just on paper, but in my mind. And later, when I need to speak, the movie comes back. The word appears. I smile. I speak. And I feel proud. So don't just memorize. Visualize. See the word. Feel it move. Make it into a movie. This is not only helpful. It is fun. Learning should be fun. And your imagination is the best teacher. Make your words come alive. One picture at a time. Chapter 5. Speak the word, don't just see it. There was a time when I only looked at words. I read them in books. I wrote them in my notebook. I stared at them for hours. But I didn't say them. I didn't speak. I was too shy. I was scared to say the word wrong. I was scared someone would laugh. So I stayed quiet. And because I stayed quiet, I forgot the words. They didn't stay in my mouth. They didn't stay in my brain. That was my mistake. I was only using my eyes, not my voice. Then something small happened that changed me. I was watching a video. The teacher said, "If you don't speak the word, you won't keep the word." That hit me hard. I paused the video. I looked at the word in my notebook. I had seen it so many times, but I had never said it out loud. Not even once. I took a deep breath. I said it. My voice was low. My mouth felt strange. But I said it. I said it again. Louder this time. And I smiled. It felt good. It felt real. That day, I started speaking to myself. I stood in front of the mirror. I chose one word. I looked at my face. I moved my mouth. I said the word slowly. I washed my lips. I listened to my voice. At first, I felt silly. But then, something amazing happened. I remembered the word better. I felt more confident. I was not just thinking the word. I was speaking it. And that made all the difference. When you say a word, your brain hears it. Your ears hear it. Your mouth feels it. Your body moves with it. All of this helps your memory. It makes the word stronger, deeper, more natural. You don't just see the word. You experience it. And that experience stays with you. I started doing this every day. I picked 5 words. I stood in front of the mirror. I said each one. Slowly. Clearly. With feeling. I made simple sentences. I acted them out. I am tired. I yawned. I am happy. I smiled. This is a book. I held up my notebook. This made the words come alive. My brain loved it. I remembered more and more. Sometimes, I walked around the house and spoke English. I pointed to things. This is a chair. I drink water. I opened the door. My family laughed at first. But then they saw my progress. They started helping me. We made a little game. Speak a word. Use it. Repeat it. That game made me faster, stronger, braver. Speaking is not just for talking to others. Speaking is for training your brain. You don't need a partner to practice. You can speak to yourself, to your mirror, to your phone, to your pillow. The important thing is speak. Don't be silent. Don't wait until your English is perfect. Start now. Say the words. Make sounds. Move your mouth. One day, I recorded my voice. I used my phone. I said 10 words. Then I listened. I sounded strange. But I didn't stop. I did it again. I repeated until I liked my sound. That small habit helped me so much. I started to hear my own mistakes. I started to fix them. I started to grow. Now, whenever I learn a new word, I say it 5 times. I say it with a smile. I say it with energy. I say it like it belongs to me. Because it does. The word becomes part of me. And when I speak, I don't need to think. The words come out naturally. Because I have said them so many times. So, my friend, don't just look at the words. Don't just write them. Speak them. Feel the sound. Move your lips. Train your mouth. Your voice is a tool. A gift. Use it. Speak the word, and the word will stay. Speak the word, and the word will live inside you. Chapter 6. Use the word in real life fast. When I first started learning English, I had one big habit. I waited. I waited to use new words. I thought, I need more time. I told myself, let me study this word again tomorrow. And then tomorrow became next week. And by then, the word was gone. I forgot it. I lost it. Again and again. I kept learning new words, but I never used them. I thought I was learning, but really, I was just collecting. Like picking flowers and throwing them in the wind. One day, I met an old teacher. She smiled and asked me, "How many new words do you know this week?" I said, "Maybe 20. She said, "Great. And how many did you use today?" I went quiet. I looked down. I said, "None." She smiled again and said, "Then you didn't learn them yet. You only met them. Use the word today, or you will lose it tomorrow." That moment hit me hard. I never forgot her words. Use it today, or lose it tomorrow. From that day, I changed everything. When I learned a new word, I used it right away, even if my sentence was wrong, even if it was just one small sentence. I used it. That made the word real. It made the word stay. I didn't wait. I didn't delay. I used the word fast. And it worked. My memory became stronger. My confidence grew. I felt like I owned the word. Let me give you an example. One day, I learned the word delicious. I could have written it down and closed my notebook. But I didn't. I went to the kitchen. I smelled the food. I smiled. I said, "This is delicious." My mother looked at me and laughed. But the word was real now. I used it. I heard it. I felt it. And it stayed with me. The faster you use a word, the faster it becomes yours. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for the perfect sentence. Just try. Speak to a friend. Write a message. Say it to yourself. Even whisper it while walking. You must use it while it is still fresh. That freshness is powerful. It creates a connection. It makes the brain hold the word tight. You don't need a long conversation. One sentence is enough. Learn the word tired. Say, "I feel tired." Learn the word book. Say, "This is my book." Use your world, your life, your routine. Talk about what you see, what you feel, what you do. That is how words become part of your real life, not just part of your notebook. I also started writing short messages using my new words. Even just in my diary, I would write, "Today is sunny. I feel happy. I drank tea. It was hot." These were small lines, but they were full of my words, full of my voice. And those words stayed with me longer than anything else. Because I used them fast. I gave them life. You don't need perfect grammar. You don't need big vocabulary. You just need the courage to try. That is the secret. Many learners wait and wait. They want to be ready. But waiting only brings fear. Action brings memory. Action brings fluency. Action brings confidence. Use the word now. Don't wait for tomorrow. So my friend, here is your challenge. The next time you learn a word, use it in the next 10 minutes. Say it. Write it. Feel it. Act it. Tell someone. Use it in your world. Make it real. That small action will change your English forever. Don't wait. Use the word. Let it grow inside you. Let it stay. Chapter 7. The Power of a Tiny Notebook. One day, I bought a small notebook. It was cheap, just a few pages. I didn't think much of it. But that tiny notebook changed my life. I called it my English pocket. I carried it everywhere. It was always in my bag, sometimes in my pocket. It became my best friend. Not because it was beautiful, but because it was full of words that I wanted to keep. Not just words I learned, but words I loved. Words I didn't want to forget. Before I had the notebook, I used to write words on random papers. On the back of receipts. On the corners of books. On my phone. But I would lose them. I would forget where I wrote them. My mind felt messy. And I felt sad when I lost a good word. But once I had the tiny notebook, everything changed. It became one small home for all my English. I wrote only a few words each day. I didn't fill the pages fast. One word per page, sometimes. At the top, I wrote the word. Below, I wrote one small sentence. Sometimes I drew a picture. Sometimes I wrote how I felt about the word. Rain, I love the sound when I'm in bed. Friend, my best friend is like my heart. These little sentences made me feel close to the words. They were not just words anymore. They were pieces of me. Every night, I opened my notebook. I read the old words. I smiled. I said them out loud. I remembered the feelings. I remembered the pictures. Sometimes I added a new sentence. Sometimes I added color. A heart. A star. A small drawing. This notebook was not a school book. It was my storybook. My English memory book. And because I reviewed it often, the words stayed with me. Even the hard ones. Even the ones I thought I would forget. When I was bored on the bus, I opened my notebook. When I waited for food, I opened it. When I sat alone in the park, I opened it. Just 5 minutes. Just one page. But those small minutes changed everything. I remember writing the word hope in big letters. I decorated the page. I drew a small sun above it. That day, I felt sad. But writing that word gave me strength. And now, when I see that page again, I still feel the same light. That's what makes a word stay, when you make it your own. When you put your soul into it. A notebook is better than a phone. Phones are fast, but cold. They don't feel alive. A notebook is slow, but warm. You touch it. You hold it. You write with your hand. That movement helps your memory. It connects your body to your brain. Writing by hand is powerful. It makes the words go deeper. You don't need a big notebook. Start with a small one. Just for you. Only you will read it. So you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to follow rules. You can make it fun. You can make it beautiful. You can make it strange. Just make it yours. Fill it with the words you want to keep. Make it your personal dictionary of feelings, memories, and pictures. Now I have many notebooks. I keep them like treasure. Sometimes I open an old one and smile. I see my old self. I see how far I've come. I see my first words. I see the words that made me cry, laugh, feel strong. And I remember the journey. Your journey can start the same way, with just one small notebook. So my friend, get one. Any kind. Write your first word today. Write how you feel about it. Make a little picture. A sentence. A story. Just one page. And do it again tomorrow. This tiny notebook may be small, but it holds something big. Your voice in English. And your voice is something the world needs to hear. Chapter 8. The magic of repeating at the right time. There was a time I thought repetition meant reading a word 20 times in 1 hour. I thought if I said it again and again, it would stick forever. I repeated the word until I got tired. And for a little while, it worked. I remembered the word that evening. But the next day, it was gone. My brain was empty. I felt angry. I thought, why does this keep happening to me? I work so hard. But the truth is, I was repeating too much at the wrong time. Then I learned something beautiful. I learned that memory is like planting a seed. You don't water it every 5 minutes. You water it slowly. A little today, a little tomorrow. You give it time to grow. That is what the brain needs. It needs space. It needs sleep. It needs rest between your reviews. That's when the memory becomes strong. This idea changed how I learned everything. The method is called spaced repetition. Don't worry. You don't need to remember the name. Just remember the rhythm. Day 1, learn a word. Day 2, review it. Day 4, review it again. Day 7, just say it once. Day 15, say it one more time. That's it. No need to say it 100 times. Just say it at the right time. Your brain will do the rest. I started using this system with my tiny notebook. I marked the dates. I made a small plan. Today I learn. Tomorrow I review. Then again after a few days. Slowly, gently, and something amazing happened. The words stayed. Not for a day, not for a week, but for months. My memory was getting stronger. Not because I worked harder, but because I worked smarter. This method also made me feel calm. Before, I felt stress. I thought I had to study for hours. I thought I had to say everything again and again. I was always worried about forgetting. But now I had peace. I knew the word would return to me if I followed the rhythm. I trusted the process. And that trust helped me focus. It's like learning a song. You don't memorize all the lyrics in one day. You hear the song today. You hear it again tomorrow. Then a few days later. And suddenly, you know all the words. That's the magic of repeating at the right time. It doesn't feel like studying. It feels like life. It feels like music. I even started using colors. When I reviewed a word and it felt easy, I put a green star next to it. If it felt hard, I gave it a yellow one. If I forgot it, I gave it red. This helped me know when to review. Green words were strong. Red words needed more love. And I gave them that love, slowly, with time. Just like watering a weak plant. Just like caring for something precious. Some people try to memorize 100 words in 1 week. But they forget them all by next week. That's not learning. That's pushing. And your brain doesn't like pushing. It likes rhythm, space, peace, repeating the right word at the right moment. That is what works. And it works for everyone. Even if you think your memory is bad, even if you are just starting. I also made a habit. Every Sunday, I sat with my notebook. I looked back at all the words from the week. I didn't study hard. I just looked. I smiled. I said a few words out loud. Some words were still fresh. Some were quiet. But each one came back more easily. I saw that memory is a friend. And like all friends, it needs time and kindness. So if you feel like you forget too quickly, don't give up. Don't say, I'm not smart. Say, I need a better rhythm. Start small. Learn 3 words today. Review them tomorrow. Then after 2 days. Then again in a week. Let your brain breathe. Let your memory grow like a tree. This method is simple, but it is powerful. Repeat your words. Not too fast, not too much. Just at the right time. And they will stay with you forever. Chapter 9. Tell a mini story with the word. One day, I learned a new word. Lost. I looked at the meaning. I read an example. But still, I could not remember it after a few days. It didn't stay in my mind. So I tried something different. I sat down and told myself a small story. One time, I went to a big shopping mall with my cousin. We were walking together. Then I turned around, and she was gone. I looked left. I looked right. She was not there. I was scared. I was confused. I was lost. And suddenly, the word felt strong. It came alive. I remembered the word better than ever before. That was the day I learned a secret. Stories make words unforgettable. You don't need to write a long book. Just one small story. A few sentences. It can be true, or it can be something from your imagination. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you use the word, feel the word, and see it inside a moment. The brain loves stories. When you read a story or tell one, your memory becomes active. The words don't just sit on the page, they jump into your heart. I made this a daily habit. Every time I learned a new word, I told a little story with it. If I learned the word happy, I wrote. I woke up early. The sun was shining. I had no school today. I made pancakes. I felt so happy. That was it. Just 5 lines. But the feeling stayed with me. And the word stayed too. Because I didn't just memorize happy, I lived it through the story. Even grammar words became easier. Before was difficult for me at first. So I said, before I went to school, I ate a banana. That's all. Simple. Clear. My life. My sentence. And now, I can never forget the word before. Because it's in my story. And stories stay longer than facts. You can make your stories funny, sad, exciting, or boring. You can talk about your childhood, your dreams, your favorite food, your best friend. Just choose one word and build a moment around it. Imagine the time, the place, the people, the emotion, the colors. That's how the word finds a home inside your memory. Sometimes I told the story out loud. I would walk around my room and speak it like a short film. I acted it out with my hands. I changed my voice. I made it fun. Other times, I wrote it in my tiny notebook. I added a picture, a heart, a star. These stories became my personal English diary. Each page had a soul. Each word had a heartbeat. This is not about perfect English. This is about strong memory. Even if your grammar is not right, your brain will remember the story. And slowly, your grammar will grow too. Because you are using English in your own way. That is real learning. That is deep learning. One of my favorite mini stories was about the word rain. I wrote, it was dark outside. I walked alone. Then it started to rain. I had no umbrella. But I didn't run. I smiled. The rain touched my face. I felt calm. That story still lives in my heart. And so does the word. It's part of my life now. Not just something I learned, but something I felt. So now, I want you to try. Pick one word, just one. Think of a time in your life that connects to that word. Or make up a little moment. Write 2 or 3 sentences. Keep it simple. But feel it deeply. Say it out loud. Draw something if you like. Do this for 5 minutes a day. And watch how strong your memory becomes. A word alone is easy to forget. But a word inside a story, that's powerful. That's unforgettable. Because stories speak to the heart. And the heart remembers everything. Chapter 10. Connect the word to your life. I remember the day I learned the word busy. The teacher gave us a sentence. He is busy. It was easy. I understood it. But after 2 days, I forgot it. I saw the word again and thought, what does this mean? I felt frustrated. I had read it. I had said it. But it didn't stay. Then one afternoon, I was doing many things, cleaning my room, helping my mother, finishing homework, and getting ready for class. I sat down, tired, and said to myself, I am so busy today. And then, it clicked. The word finally felt real. Because this time, the word was not just in my notebook. It was in my life. That's when I understood something important. If you want a word to stay in your brain, you must connect it to your life. To your real day. To your real problems. To your real emotions. When a word lives inside your routine, your memory holds it tight. You don't need to force it. You just need to use it where it belongs, inside your world. I started looking at each new word and asking, where is this word in my life? If I learned hungry, I didn't just repeat it. I waited until I felt hunger. Then I said, I am hungry, and the word stayed. If I learned tired, I waited until the end of the day and said, I feel tired. That simple habit helped me build stronger memory. Because it was real. It was me. I also wrote about my life using new words. My own stories. Not stories from a book. I wrote, my room is small. I have a big window. I drink tea every evening. These words were easy, but they were mine. They were part of my day. And when a word is part of your day, you don't forget it. You say it again tomorrow. You feel it again next week. That's how you keep it forever. The word friend became special to me, not because I read it in a sentence, but because I wrote, "My best friend is kind. She listens to me. She makes me laugh." These were my real feelings. And that made the word strong. Now when I hear friend, I see her face. I hear her voice. I remember our talks. That connection is powerful. This is why many people forget English words. They study too far from their life. They say big words like agriculture or economics, but they don't use them. Those words don't live in their daily world. But words like sleep, food, rain, home, school, these are close to us. These are part of our stories. And we must learn those first. Start with your world. Learn the words you need to talk about your morning, your feelings, your room, your work, your hopes. Even feelings can help. If you learn the word angry, think about the last time you felt angry. Say the word. Connect it to that moment. If you learn excited, think of a time you got a gift. Let the word live in your real memory, not just in a textbook. Your life is your best English teacher. Every day gives you a new moment to use a word. You just have to look for it. And when you find it, say it. Write it. Feel it. That moment will teach you more than any dictionary ever can. So today, I want you to choose 3 new words. Not from a long list. From your life. Ask yourself, what am I doing today? What do I feel? What do I see? Use those words in a sentence about your day. Say it out loud. Write it down. Feel it. Let it be real. Because when English words become part of your story, they will never leave you. You don't need a perfect brain. You just need a personal connection. And you already have one. Your life. Use it. And let the words live with you. Chapter 11. Move while you learn. One morning, I was sitting on my bed, trying to learn new words. I read them again and again. I wrote them down. But nothing stayed in my head. My eyes were tired. My body was still. My brain felt sleepy. I thought maybe I was not in the mood to study. But then I stood up. I walked around my room. I started saying the words out loud while moving. I pointed to things. I acted like I was in a play. And suddenly, something changed. I felt awake. I felt excited. The words started to stick. I could feel my memory getting stronger. That was the day I learned this powerful truth. The brain remembers better when the body moves. After that, I started walking while learning. I took my tiny notebook and walked in the park. I said my English words slowly. I moved my hands. I touched a tree and said, "Tree." I looked at the sky and said, "Blue." I smiled. I felt the wind. The words became part of the moment, part of the air, part of my body. And that made my brain remember them better. I was not just learning with my eyes. I was learning with my whole self. When you move, your blood flows. Your heart beats faster. Your brain becomes more active. That energy helps your memory. It helps your focus. You don't need to run or jump. Even walking slowly is enough. Even using your hands is enough. When you move your arms while saying a word like open, your brain understands it better. When you act out run, your body helps the meaning stay. I remember one day I learned the word dance. I didn't just read it. I stood up. I danced a little. I laughed. I said the word out loud. Dance. That word stayed in my memory for months. Why? Because I moved with it. Because I lived it. That's the secret. If you sit too much, your brain gets tired. But if you move, even just a little, you wake up your memory. I also used hand actions. When I learned big, I stretched my arms wide. When I learned small, I brought my hands close. When I said happy, I smiled and jumped. These little actions made the words easier to remember. My body helped my brain, and my brain thanked me for it. You can even make a routine. Walk around your house and describe things. This is my bag. The door is brown. I drink water. These are small sentences. But when you walk and talk, they become strong. You are not just learning. You are using. And using is the best way to remember. Sometimes I would go outside. I would look at the trees, the sky, the people. I would say simple words. Sunny. Hot. Children. Smile. These were not hard words, but they stayed. Because I said them while looking, while walking, while feeling, and the movement made the moment unforgettable. Now, I move every time I learn. Even if I'm at home, I stand up. I act out the words. I move my hands. I walk in circles. I whisper the words. I shout them. I whisper again. I change my voice. I laugh. I feel alive. That is how I train my memory. So, my friend, don't sit in one place all day. Don't let your body sleep while your brain works. Bring them together. Walk. Talk. Act. Move your fingers. Nod your head. Open your arms. Feel the words in your bones. Let your body help your brain. Because when your whole body learns, the word becomes part of you. It doesn't just stay in your head. It lives in your hands, in your steps, in your smile. And that kind of learning, it lasts forever. Chapter 12. Use your phone the smart way. For a long time, my phone was my biggest problem. I wanted to study English, but I kept picking up my phone. I checked messages. I watched funny videos. I scrolled and scrolled. 1 hour would pass. 2 hours. And I didn't learn anything. I felt bad. I felt lazy. I thought my phone was stopping me from learning. But then I had a new idea. What if my phone could help me instead? What if my phone was not the enemy, but the tool? That's when I started using my phone in a smart way. The first thing I did was record my voice. I picked 5 new English words. I said them out loud, slowly, with meaning. I recorded myself. Then I listened. On the bus, in bed, during a walk. I heard my own voice saying those words. Again and again. And I remembered them better. Not because I worked harder, but because I used my phone with purpose. I also started using the camera. Every day, I took a photo of something. A pen, a tree, a plate of food. Then I wrote one simple English sentence about it. This is my breakfast. The sky is blue. I feel tired. I saved those pictures with the sentence. And I looked at them later. These were my life, in my language. It helped me remember not just the words, but the feelings, the moments, the meanings. There are also many free apps that can help you. I used a flashcard app. I added my own words, my own pictures, my own sentences. I didn't use a long list from someone else. I used my words, my emotions, my stories. That made the words stay longer. I checked my flashcards while waiting for food, while sitting in a car, just for 5 minutes. That was enough. Little by little, the words became stronger. My phone also became my teacher. I followed simple English YouTube channels. I watched short videos. I repeated after them. I slowed the speed. I listened carefully. I watched the same video 3 times. My ears got better. My understanding grew. But only when I used the phone with focus, not with distraction. I made one special folder. I called it my English tools. Inside, I put all the helpful things, my flashcard app, my voice recordings, my simple dictionary app, my favorite videos, and a note-taking app. This folder was like my English classroom. Every time I opened it, I felt proud. I felt focused. I was building something for myself. Even alarms helped me. I set a daily reminder. Learn one new word. When the alarm rang, I smiled. I picked a word. I made a sentence. I spoke it out loud. That one small word added up over time. After 1 month, I had 30 new words. All strong, all useful, all mine. But I also made rules. No English. No phone. If I didn't use the phone to learn for at least 5 minutes, I didn't open Instagram. I didn't scroll. I trained myself. The phone was a reward. But only after learning. That gave me power. That made me feel in control. You don't need a big phone. You don't need expensive apps. You just need to use what you already have in a smart way. Turn your phone into a mirror. Speak to it. Record your voice. Listen again. Turn your phone into a friend. Let it support your English, not steal your time. Now, I love using my phone for learning. I learn faster. I remember more. I feel stronger. Because I changed my relationship with it. It's no longer a distraction. It's my daily teacher. My helper. My tool. So my friend, today, open your phone with a new mind. Record yourself. Take a picture. Make a sentence. Download a good app. Follow one English channel. Learn one new word and say it out loud. Save it. Feel it. Use it. Let your phone become your classroom, your practice partner, your voice recorder, your daily notebook. Because when you use your phone the smart way, you carry your English power in your pocket, all day, every day. Chapter 13. Teach the word to someone else. One day, I learned the word strong. I said it again and again. I wrote it in my notebook. I made a small sentence. I want to be strong. But I still felt unsure. Would I remember it next week? Would I forget it tomorrow? Then something special happened. My little sister asked me, "What does strong mean in English?" I smiled. I said, "It means powerful. Like when you lift heavy things or never give up." I showed her my arms and said, "Look, strong." She laughed. I laughed too. And from that moment, I never forgot the word. Why? Because I taught it. And teaching made it real. That's when I learned a beautiful secret. If you want to remember a word deeply, teach it to someone else. When you explain a word, your brain wakes up. It becomes active. It tries harder to understand. It finds meaning. It connects ideas. And it holds that word stronger. You don't need to be a teacher. You just need to speak the word, explain it, show it, and feel it with another person. At first, I felt shy. I thought, my English is not perfect. How can I teach anyone? But then I remembered, even a child can teach. Even a beginner can share. You don't need to teach 100 words. Just one. Just say, "Do you know this word? Let me tell you." That's enough. That's powerful. That will help you remember it for life. I started small. I taught words to my friend who was also learning English. We helped each other. One day I explained quiet, and she explained noisy. Another day I explained fast, and she gave me a sentence with slow. It was fun. It felt like a game. But it was also serious. Because the words we taught each other, those are the words we still remember. Sometimes, I even taught my notebook. I opened a page. I pretended it was a student. I said, "Today, we will learn the word cold. It means when the weather is not warm." I smiled. I acted like a teacher. I made a sentence. "I feel cold in winter." I read it like I was helping someone. And that made the word feel stronger in my heart. You can also teach a toy, a mirror, or your phone. Don't laugh. It works. I used to hold my stuffed bear and say, "Hello, student. Today we will learn the word happy." I showed my toy a big smile. I said, "Happy means you feel good inside. You feel like dancing. You feel like laughing." That little moment helped me more than any textbook. Teaching makes your brain think differently. It forces you to say the word, explain the meaning, use the sentence, feel the idea. All of that helps you remember. It's like learning from the inside out. Not just learning to understand, but learning to share. And sharing is powerful. I also used to message my cousin. Every time I learned a new word, I sent her a short message. "Do you know this word? Let me show you." And I gave her one sentence. That habit helped both of us. We laughed. We learned. We grew. And now, those words are still with us. Not because we studied them, but because we taught them. So, my friend, I invite you to teach one word today. To anyone. To a friend. A brother. A mother. A classmate. A pet. Or just to yourself. Pick one word. Explain it in simple English. Use a picture. Use a story. Use a smile. Say, "This word means," and then share it. It will stay with you. Because when you teach, you grow. When you explain, you remember. When you share, you become stronger. And in that moment, you are no longer just a learner. You are a leader. You are a guide. You are becoming fluent. Not just in words, but in confidence, in connection, in life. Chapter 14. Sing the word, don't just say it. One night, I couldn't sleep. I was tired, but my mind was full of English words. I was thinking too much. Then I remembered a song I used to hear as a child. I started to hum it. Slowly, I added one English word I was trying to learn, the word beautiful. I sang, "It's a beautiful day, it's a beautiful life." I smiled. My voice was soft. I felt calm. And the next day, I still remembered that word. That's when I discovered something powerful. Singing helps you remember words. Not just a little, a lot. You see, when you sing, your brain is happy. Music makes learning easier. The words stick better. The sound becomes clear. The rhythm helps you feel the word. You are not just saying it. You are living it with your voice. And when something feels good, your brain says, "Let's remember this." That is why songs are so strong. I started singing simple English phrases every day. "Good morning, how are you?" I made a little tune. "I am tired, I need some sleep." I laughed as I sang it. I didn't care if I sounded funny. I was learning. I was having fun. And I noticed I was remembering more words without stress. No pressure. No fear. Just music and joy. Even hard words became easier. One day, I learned the word wonderful. It felt too long, too difficult. But I made a song. Today is a wonderful day. I'm happy in every way. I sang it again and again. While walking, while cleaning, while cooking, the word became light. It became natural. And now, I can never forget it. You don't need to be a good singer. You don't need a perfect voice. You just need your own rhythm, your own melody, your own way. Turn your sentences into small songs. Use words you love. Use your feelings. Let your voice play. Let your tongue dance. Even whispering a song can help. Sometimes I use songs I already knew. I changed the lyrics. I added new English words. Twinkle, twinkle, little car, driving fast and going far. It was silly, but it worked. I remembered the words car, fast, and far. Because I didn't just say them, I sang them, and they stayed. I also started watching English songs with subtitles. I listened carefully. I repeated the lines. I sang with the singer. I paused the video. I wrote down the words. I sang again. Over time, I learned full phrases. I understood the feeling behind the words. That made my learning deeper, more emotional, more powerful. Even grammar became fun. I am walking, you are running, she is dancing. I made a rhythm. I clapped my hands. I moved my feet. It was like music class. And it worked. I didn't feel like I was studying. I felt like I was playing. And play is a beautiful way to learn. Now, singing is part of my English routine. When I brush my teeth, I sing a short phrase. When I wait in line, I hum a sentence. When I feel nervous, I sing a soft song with my favorite words. It helps me relax. It helps me grow. It helps me remember. So, my friend, don't be afraid. Try singing your words. Make a small song with the word you want to learn today. Repeat it. Smile while you do it. Feel the music in your voice. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be real. Let your words fly on the wings of melody. Because when you sing a word, it becomes a part of you. It enters your heart, not just your mind. And words that enter the heart, they never leave. Chapter 15. Make mistakes loudly. I used to be afraid. Every time I wanted to speak English, my heart beat fast. My hands felt cold. I thought, what if I say the wrong word? What if someone laughs? What if I make a big mistake? So I stayed quiet. I whispered words. I didn't speak out loud. I tried to be perfect. But do you know what happened? I didn't remember anything. I forgot the words. I forgot the sentences. Because I was too afraid to practice. I was too afraid to fail. Then one day, something changed. I watched a little boy learning to speak. He said words wrong. He mixed everything. But he smiled. He laughed. And his parents clapped. They didn't say, "You made a mistake." They said, "Good job." That moment opened my eyes. That little boy was not perfect, but he was learning fast. Because he was brave. He didn't care about mistakes. He just spoke. That night, I stood in front of the mirror. I chose 5 words. And I said them out loud. Loudly. Clearly. Even if I said them wrong, I didn't stop. I made silly sentences. I smiled. I laughed at myself. And you know what? I remembered more. Because I was no longer scared. I was free. And freedom is powerful. It gives you confidence. It gives you memory. When you make mistakes loudly, your brain learns better. The sound stays in your ears. The feeling stays in your heart. You remember how it felt. You remember the moment. That mistake becomes a lesson. A real one. Not from a book, from your life. I started talking to people, even when I was not sure. Sometimes I said strange things. Sometimes I used the wrong word. People corrected me, but kindly. They helped me. And slowly, my words got better. My sentences became stronger. Because I didn't wait for perfection. I used what I had. And that's why I improved. You don't learn by hiding. You learn by trying. Speaking softly will not make you fluent. Speaking loudly, even with mistakes, will. So speak up. Make noise. Be proud of your broken sentences. They are not failures. They are steps. Every wrong word is one step closer to fluency. I remember one time I said, "I very like tea." A woman smiled and said, "You mean, I really like tea." I smiled back. I said it again, correctly this time. I never forgot that phrase. Not because of the book. Because of the moment. The feeling. The loud mistake that became a strong memory. Now I tell all my students this. Don't be perfect. Be brave. Don't wait until you know enough. Start now. Use your voice. Say the word. Make the sentence. Be wrong. Be loud. Then be better. That is the real path. So, my friend, today speak out loud. Say a sentence. Say a new word. Don't whisper it. Don't hide. Let the world hear your voice. If you make a mistake, smile. Learn from it. Then say it again, louder, braver, stronger. Because fluency is not quiet. Fluency is noisy, full of small mistakes, full of courage. And every time you speak loudly, even with a mistake, you tell your brain, I am not afraid. I am growing. I am becoming fluent. Chapter 16. Make word groups, not lists. When I first started learning English, I made long lists of words, pages and pages of them. I wrote 20 new words every day. I thought, this will help me remember more. But something strange happened. The more I added to the list, the more I forgot. It felt like the words had no connection. They were just random, cold, alone, like little puzzle pieces from different boxes. And because they didn't belong together, my brain didn't remember them. Then one day, a teacher looked at my list. She smiled and said, you don't need more words. You need better groups. I didn't understand at first. What do you mean? I asked. She said, group the words by feeling, by topic, by place. Make them belong together. That idea changed everything. I threw away my long list. I started fresh. I chose one topic, food. I wrote words like rice, soup, spoon, hungry, dinner, delicious. Suddenly, the words felt connected. I could imagine a table, a meal, a feeling. The words were not fighting for space. They were working together, like a family, and my brain remembered them better. I did the same with places. For home, I wrote bed, pillow, door, relax, clean. For school, I wrote desk, pen, teacher, board, notebook. For travel, I wrote airport, suitcase, ticket, map, adventure. These groups felt real. They had pictures, smells, sounds, emotions. And because of that, the memory became strong. I also grouped words by feelings. Happy went with smile, laugh, sunshine, gift. Sad went with cry, rain, alone, quiet. Angry went with shout, red, fast, loud. These word groups became my memory tools, not just for vocabulary, but for expression. When I wanted to say how I felt, I had a group of words ready, and I could speak faster. I didn't freeze. Even grammar became easier. I grouped action words together. Run, walk, jump, sit, sleep. I grouped time words. Yesterday, today, tomorrow, soon, later. I grouped question words. Who, what, where, when, why. I played with them. I made small stories with one group at a time. It was fun, and most of all, it worked. When your brain sees a list, it feels tired. When it sees a group, it feels safe. It says, ah, I know this place. These words belong here. That feeling helps the memory stay, because it's not learning in pieces. It's learning in pictures, in stories, in circles. I use colors too. I wrote food words in green, travel words in blue, emotion words in red. My notebook became like a rainbow. Bright, clear, beautiful. Sometimes I added drawings. A small fork, a tiny sun, a heart, a teacup. These pictures made the groups even stronger, even more personal. Now, when I think of a word, I don't see it alone. I see its family. I say beach, and I also feel sand, water, sun, swim, towel. That's what makes speaking easy. That's what builds fluency. Not long lists, but real, living groups. So today, I want you to try this. Choose one group. Just one. Maybe clothes. Maybe kitchen. Maybe feelings. Write 5 words. Then add 5 more. Speak them. Use them in a sentence. Draw something. Make the group feel real. Review it every day for a week. Let the group grow stronger in your mind. Because when words live together, they stay longer. They speak faster. They help you more. Stop building lonely lists. Start building powerful groups. This is not just smart. It's simple. It's beautiful. And it works. Chapter 17. Read the word. Hear the word. Say the word. Write the word. I remember a word I could never remember. Always. I saw it in books. I wrote it in my notebook. But it didn't stay. I looked at it, repeated it, but it still felt weak in my mind. I almost gave up on it. But one day, I tried something new. I did not just read it. I found it in a short story and read it aloud. Then I listened to someone say it in a podcast. Then I said it myself, out loud, with emotion. Then I wrote it 3 times. That night, I realized something powerful. My brain needs more than one door to let a word in. It needs all 4 doors: reading, hearing, speaking, and writing. After that, I made a new rule for myself. Every new word must enter my brain through all 4 doors. First, I read the word in a sentence. Then I searched for the word in a short video or story and listened carefully. Then I said it out loud with a full sentence. Finally, I wrote it in my notebook with one feeling or memory next to it. That small system became my biggest success. Each step helps your brain in a different way. When you read, your eyes see the word and its shape. Your brain learns how it looks. When you hear, your ears catch the sound. Your brain connects it with music and rhythm. When you speak, your voice trains your mouth. Your body feels the word. When you write, your hands move and your memory becomes deeper. All these doors working together. That's what makes a word stay. Some people only read. Some only write. Some only listen. But those learners move slowly. If you want to remember deeply and speak naturally, you must use all your tools. You must bring your whole self to the word, not just one part of you. I remember the word morning. I read it in a sentence. Good morning, my friend. Then I heard it in a video. Morning. How are you? I repeated it 5 times out loud. Then I wrote in my notebook. Morning is the start of my day. I like it when the sun is soft. That word never left me again. Not because it's easy, but because I gave it attention from every side. You can do this too. Today, choose one new word. Just one. Read it in a short text. Hear it in a video. Say it in a sentence. Write it in your notebook. Add a picture if you can. Then come back tomorrow and do it again. Let that word enter you from every side. That's how you build fluency. This method is simple but strong. It doesn't take much time, just 5 minutes. But it brings the word to life. It becomes more than just a sound, more than just a shape. It becomes real, something you can see, hear, speak, and write. Something your brain cannot forget. Sometimes I even made little games. I wrote 5 words. I read them. Then I played the audio. Then I repeated each one with a funny voice. Then I wrote them in short stories. This made the words fun. It made them personal. It made them stick. Now, when I speak English, I don't search for words. They come to me. Because I built them this way, one word, for doors. And they became part of me. This method gave me confidence. It gave me results. It gave me peace. So, my friend, don't just learn a word once. Learn it 4 times. Through your eyes, your ears, your voice, and your hands. Give the word everything. Let it touch every part of you. Then it will stay forever. Because when you read the word, hear the word, say the word, and write the word, you don't just learn it. You become it. Chapter 18. Create a word routine you love. There was a time when learning English felt heavy. Like a big stone I had to carry every day. I would open my book, look at new words, and feel tired before I even began. Some days I studied. Other days I didn't. I had no routine, no plan. I felt lost. I thought, maybe I'm not serious enough. Maybe I'll never learn. But deep inside, I knew the problem wasn't me. The problem was the way I was learning. I didn't enjoy it. It didn't feel like my life. It didn't feel like my rhythm. So one morning, I made a promise to myself. I will create a word routine I love. I started small. I didn't set big goals. I said, 5 minutes a day, 1 word a day. That's it. I chose the morning, right after I brushed my teeth. That became my English time. I opened my notebook. I picked 1 word. I read it. I listened to it. I said it out loud. I wrote 1 small sentence. I added a feeling. Then I closed the book. Done. That 5 minutes gave me peace. I felt proud. I felt consistent. And slowly, those 5 minutes became 10. Then 15. Not because I forced myself, but because I loved the process. A good routine is like a gentle song. It fits into your life. It doesn't feel like work. It feels like care, like self-love. So I added more little steps. In the afternoon, while walking, I listened to a short English podcast. At night, before bed, I reviewed my words for the day. Just 2 or 3. I whispered them. I smiled. I let them rest in my heart before I slept. This was not hard. It was beautiful. The secret is not time. The secret is feeling. If you enjoy your routine, you will come back to it. Every day, even when you're busy, even when you're tired, because it gives you peace. It gives you progress. It gives you strength. Some people make big plans. I will learn 50 words a day, but they stop after 3 days. It's too much. It feels like a race. But learning a language is not a race. It's a journey. A soft, slow daily walk. 1 word. 1 step. 1 page. 1 sentence. I made my routine fun. I used colors. I used stickers. I recorded my voice and listened to it while cooking. I made up songs. I taught my dog 1 new word a day. Of course, my dog didn't understand, but I did. That made me smile. That made it mine. You can build your routine around your day. If you take the bus, listen to English while riding. If you drink tea, review 1 word before the first sip. If you walk every evening, speak 1 new sentence to yourself while walking. This is your life. Your rhythm. Let English become part of it. I didn't need a teacher every day. I didn't need a big course. I just needed my routine. It was small. It was soft. But it was mine. And it changed everything. Because the truth is this. We don't become fluent from 1 big class. We become fluent from daily drops. Little by little. Drop by drop. Word by word. So, my friend, create your routine. Start today. Don't wait for the perfect time. Don't wait for a new notebook. Just begin. Choose 1 time of day. Choose 1 word. Make a small promise to yourself. Keep it. Repeat it. Love it. Because when you build a routine that feels like joy, your English will grow. Not just in your head, but in your heart. Chapter 19. Words I never forgot, my memory breakthrough. I still remember the first 10 words I never forgot. Not because I was smart, not because I studied them all day, but because I learned them with feeling, with story, with love. These words became a part of me. They stayed in my heart, not just my brain. They were my memory breakthrough. The moment I knew, yes, this is working. I am growing. One of those words was smile. I saw it in a book, but I didn't just read it. I looked in the mirror and gave myself a big smile. I said smile. I felt it. I connected it to a happy day. That word became real. Another word was sad. I remembered a time I missed my grandmother. I whispered the word. I wrote a sentence. Today, I feel sad. That sentence stayed with me. Not because it was perfect, but because it was honest. I still remember apple. Not because of a picture in a book, but because I ate one. I said, "This is an apple." I took a bite. I smiled. I said it again, apple. That word had taste, sound, color. It lived in my senses. That's why I never forgot it. I didn't just study it. I used it. I lived it. Another word I'll always remember is friend. I wrote it in my notebook and added a sentence. My best friend helps me laugh. I drew a small heart next to it. When I think of that word, I see her face. I hear her laugh. The word is full of love. That's why it never left. Then there was the word water. So simple. But one day, I was very thirsty. I drank cold water and said out loud, "Water is life." That sentence felt powerful. I wrote it down. I repeated it. Even now, I feel that moment. One word, one memory, forever strong. My breakthrough didn't come from learning 100 words in a week. It came from learning 5 words deeply, slowly, with emotion, with action. I gave each word attention. I connected it to my real life. I used it in my daily routine. I spoke it out loud. I wrote small stories. I drew little pictures. I listened to the words in videos. I repeated them in songs. I whispered them before sleep. It wasn't fast, but it was real, and that's what made it work. I wasn't memorizing anymore. I was remembering. I was building. I was becoming fluent, one word at a time. There's one more word I'll never forget. Hope. I learned it when I was struggling. I wrote this in my notebook. I hope I can speak English one day. That hope stayed with me. Even when I made mistakes. Even when I felt slow. I read that word every night. I whispered it to myself. Now, I don't just understand the word hope. I live it. I teach it. I speak with it. I never forgot it, because I needed it. So, my friend, maybe today you are learning the word strong, or happy, or book. Don't just say it. Feel it. Connect it to your life. Say it out loud. Use it right away. Draw it. Sing it. Whisper it before sleep. Let it stay inside you. Because words are not just for tests. Words are not just for notebooks. Words are for life. And when a word becomes part of your life, you will never forget it. Your memory is not weak. You just need the right way. Feel the word. Use the word. And watch your own breakthrough come, just like mine did. Chapter 20. Now it's your turn to remember. You've come so far, my friend. You didn't just read this video. You felt it. You followed the steps. You listened to the words. You opened your heart. And now, it's your turn. Your turn to remember. Your turn to grow. Your turn to speak with confidence. Because everything you need, it's already inside you. You do not need to learn 1,000 words in 1 week. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to rush. You only need to take 1 word today, just 1, and give it love. Say it out loud. Write a short sentence. Listen to it in a video. Draw it. Act it. Make a little story. Use it in your daily life. Then do the same tomorrow. And again the next day. That's how you build your English memory. Slow, strong, real. Look back at what you've learned. You now know that words live longer when you connect them to emotion, when you picture them like a movie, when you speak them with your voice, when you use them fast, when you carry them in a tiny notebook, when you repeat them at the right time, when you tell small stories, when you make word groups, when you read, hear, say, and write, when you teach others, when you sing, when you move, when you love the routine, when you accept your mistakes, when you trust your journey. This is not just about remembering words. This is about remembering yourself, your power, your strength, your voice. You have it. Even if you forget sometimes, it's still there. You're still moving forward. You're still learning. And that means everything. I believe in you. I know what it feels like to forget. I know the pain. I know the doubt. But I also know the joy of learning. The happiness of saying a new word correctly for the first time. The smile on your face when someone understands you. That joy is waiting for you. And every word you remember brings you closer. So today, choose 5 words. Only 5. Don't write them in a list. Feel them. Use them. Live them. Make them part of your world. And keep going. This is not the end. This is your beginning. You are ready now. And if you ever feel tired, come back to this video. Watch it again. Let it remind you of how far you've come. Let it remind you that you are not alone. I am here. We are learning together. And every step you take matters. Now it's your turn to remember. And I know you will. If this video helped you feel stronger, please like, subscribe, and comment below. Tell me, what word will you remember today? Your English journey is just beginning, and I'll be here every step of the way. Let's keep going together.